Alright, quick little check-in here. We wanted to flip the boat over to make it easier to weld the bottom of the transom on. So I started tinkering with the intake mounting again. These welds that you can obviously see going around. That was those wider bars that I welded in up there. They're like 4-inch wide, and that was me getting crazy with the spool gun, you know, trying to move as fast as I could, but not fast enough because the welds were all hanging out the bottom of the hull. So, but not gonna get too carried away with you know, making. Because the welds kind of pushed and pulled the skin. I beat everything back down flat, but I don't want to get too carried away with smoothing them all out and everything, because I think this is all going to get buried in UHMW. So, but with the angle of the intake flange being a little bit different than the hull, I was kind of scratching my head on how I wanted these, how I wanted to do this and the bolt head and down here. I was going to use, like, you know, originally like just a button head Allen or something, but the angle being different, the bolt heads wouldn't have sat flat, so we had this idea to just put flat bar in, so the holes are drilled at the angle, and then they're just countersunk at that same angle. So I don't know if you can kind of see it there, that they all just kind of sit in there a little bit off the angle of the intake. So I think I think it'll work good, and it'll be strong. And just take the front edge of each of these and kind of smooth them down. You know, take that top edge off of them. I don't know, seems like it should be fine. So I got to get the other ones drilled yet on this side. The transom is almost all the way welded except for right here. This is going to be tricky in here because there's really no skin behind this. That hole is cut out like just on the other side of this edge, so I got to dial the welder way down and be careful doing this part. So the you know, I've been talking, I'm sure I've mentioned a few times, removing the strake in the middle here on the keel, but I bounced around again, talked to some people on Facebook, and there's quite a few of these guys that left them, and being a deep V hull, they didn't have issues with them, with causing, you know, cavitation or some other issue with the pump. And I still have this piece that I cut off the end of it that I could TIG back in farther up, you know, have a 1.5 feet or so in front of the intake, and then that transition will start, and just keep it for now, you know, in the pursuit of getting it done. Getting it in the water and floating quicker, because I'm not going to do the UHMW right now either. I want to get the boat and do a float test and probably, you know, even get it running and get it functioning before I commit to doing the plastic, because that's expensive. So I don't know, maybe just for now, you know, down the road, if we want to flip this boat back over and do some more work underneath here, you know, the engine is going to come out very quickly, so you just pull the motor out in like 15 minutes and make sure, you know, burn up all the fuel that's in the tanks, and you should be able to just flip it right over. I mean, it doesn't weigh anything right now. It ain't going to weigh that much more. So, you know, we could always reassess this and do maybe like I was thinking of doing, in getting rid of this, and then just going with wide flat bar, you know, 3/16 or 3/8. I don't know. I'm not sure, but replace that whole thing, the whole length of it, with just a big piece of flat bar, which is still not out of the realm of possibility. But I think for now, I'm just gonna maybe leave it on there. I'm really curious to get a static draft, at least a rough idea. So I think maybe some of the, I should skip over all the things that I really want to do but aren't 100% necessary right now, and this keel is kind of one of them, I guess, because we won't paint it either, obviously, until it's been tested, so maybe around that same time, whenever you come back underneath here to do the plastic, and if you do decide to change the keel, do all that, and then well, probably prime and paint underneath the plastic. So these front two, I countersunk the actual pieces I got in there for the intake flange, so it kind of pulled the skin into the countersink, into that piece underneath it. So these sit pretty flat. I probably won't have to do not much with those front two, but they were already the right angle. So out here, so if I went from the outside of that strike and was able to pick up, all the way to here, and then be able to do from here all the way out in the UHMW, a 24-inch wide piece would be just enough to do that. And a lot of the pieces that you find are, that are common when you look up sheets, you can find on just about every website, you can find a 24 by 48. 48 would put that first piece right here, and then second piece up there, and I think there'd be one more piece, and then a small little triangle if you followed all the way down to this point, and then probably cap the front of that keel after the new skin is on, and run the cap over top of the two skins on that keel guard on the front. And I don't know, I'm just speculating at this point, but that's $700 worth of UHMW if I did do 3/8, which I think 3/8 is a good happy medium. Quarter 3/16 I don't think is quite thick enough, and half-inch just seems like you're kind of getting carried away, but I don't know, maybe not. You see half-inch on it seems like the bigger hulls, 19, 21, 22 footers, but so you could, probably use just mechanical fasteners. It's a riveted boat, it's gonna have leaks anyways, so just use screws, in between the ribs to hold the plastic on, with some kind of maybe large, like overly large stainless flat washers or something on the top side, so it spreads the load out. Make the thick plastic like kind of serve as a structure of the boat, kind of, to an extent. So yeah, I don't know, I'm just speculating. So I think I'm gonna get this, just piece this thing back together for now, and get this intake in here and mounted with all this done down here, and then we should be able to flip the boat back over and start thinking about the new skins and stuff like that on the inside of the hull. And then after we do the new skin on the inside, then we can finally start thinking about stringers, because I don't want to put the stringers in first and then be right in the way of us trying to reskin the inside of the boat. So yeah, game plan, I guess. I don't know, I'm sure I'll probably change my mind at one point or another. So thanks for watching.